Sarah stepped out of the chilly morning air and into the warm, inviting atmosphere of her favorite coffee shop, Cafe Corner. The familiar scent of freshly brewed coffee and baked goods filled the air as she smiled, feeling instantly at home. "Hi there. My name is Sarah," she said, glancing at the camera with a friendly wave. "I love coming to this cafe because it's cozy and it's also a great place to practice my English." She walked slowly toward the counter where the barista was busy preparing drinks. "You know," Sarah continued, "when I first started learning English, I felt really shy about speaking. But I realized something important. It's okay to make mistakes. Every time you try, you get better." Her voice grew more encouraging as she added, "Today, we're going to learn some simple English phrases together through my story here at Cafe Corner. By the end, you'll feel more confident ordering coffee or chatting with a friend. Don't forget to turn on subtitles and repeat after me to improve your pronunciation." Sarah pointed to a table by the window where she often sat. "This is my favorite spot. I like to sit here, look out at the street, and watch people passing by." She paused and took a deep breath. Mornings at a cafe are just so peaceful." Looking back at the camera, she smiled warmly. "Let's begin. First, we'll learn how to introduce ourselves and talk about the cafe. Then, I'll show you how to order coffee, and we'll even practice some small talk with a friend. Are you ready?" With a quick nod, Sarah moved closer to the counter, signaling the start of her coffee shop adventure. The Cafe Corner was bustling with activity that morning. Customers chatted softly at their tables. The sound of the coffee grinder hummed in the background, and the occasional clinking of cups added a lively rhythm to the cozy atmosphere. Sarah took a seat near the window, her favorite spot. The soft sunlight streamed through the glass, illuminating the small potted plants that lined the sill. She glanced around, taking in the details. "This place is always so welcoming," she said, gesturing to the surroundings. "Do you see the tables? In English, we call these tables." She pointed to her chair. "And this is a chair. Can you say it with me, chair?" She held up the menu resting on the table. "Here's something important to know. This is a menu. When you go to a cafe or restaurant, you can look at the menu to decide what you want. Let's practice. Say it with me, menu." As Sarah looked around, she noticed a young man entering the cafe. His name was Tom, and he was one of Sarah's friends who was also learning English. He spotted her and waved. "Hi, Sarah," Tom greeted her as he walked over. "Hi, Tom. It's great to see you," Sarah replied with a smile. She gestured to the empty chair across from her. "Take a seat." Tom settled into the chair, setting his backpack on the floor. "This place is really nice," he said, looking around. "It is. I love coming here," Sarah agreed. "And it's perfect for practicing English. Do you remember how to say table and menu?" Tom nodded confidently. "Yes, table and menu. Great," Sarah exclaimed. "And what about chair?" "Chair," Tom repeated, smiling. Sarah laughed. You're getting better every day. Okay, let's look at the menu and decide what we want to order. She leaned in, pointing at the words on the menu. See this? It says cappuccino. And this one here is latte. Do you know what those are? Tom furrowed his brow, thinking for a moment. Cappuccino. It's coffee. With milk and foam, right? Exactly, Sarah confirmed. And a latte is similar, but with more milk and less foam. She glanced back at the camera. If you're at a cafe like this, knowing these words can be really helpful. Let's say them together, cappuccino and latte. As Tom and Sarah practiced their words, the barista smiled from behind the counter, ready to take their order. Sarah and Tom approached the counter, feeling ready to put their English into practice. The barista, a cheerful young woman with a warm smile, greeted them. Good morning, the barista said. Good morning, Sarah replied confidently. She turned to Tom. Let's practice ordering, okay? Tom hesitated for a moment but nodded. Sarah gave him an encouraging smile before stepping up to order first. Can I have a cappuccino, please? Sarah asked politely. The barista nodded. Of course. Would you like sugar with that? Sarah shook her head. No, thank you. Turning to Tom, she said, Now it's your turn. Tom took a deep breath and stepped forward. Can I have a latte, please? He asked, his voice steady. Sure, the barista replied. Would you like any flavor, like vanilla or caramel? Tom thought for a moment. Vanilla, please, the barista smiled. Got it. Anything else? That's all, Tom said with a nod. As the barista prepared their drinks, Sarah turned to the camera. Did you notice how we ordered? We both started with, Can I have? This is a polite way to ask for something in English. She paused to explain further. After the barista asked, Would you like sugar? Or, would you like any flavor? We replied with no, thank you, or named what we wanted. These are simple phrases, but they're very useful. The barista called out their names, signaling that the drinks were ready. Sarah and Tom picked them up and returned to their table. Back at the table, Sarah continued the mini lesson. Let's go over what we just learned. When you want to order something, start with, Can I have? For example, Can I have a cappuccino, please? She looked at Tom. What did you order? Tom smiled. I said, Can I have a latte, please? Exactly. Sarah encouraged. And what did the barista ask you? She asked if I wanted a flavor like vanilla or caramel, Tom replied. And what did you say? Vanilla, please, Tom answered. Sarah clapped her hands. Perfect, you did great. Turning to the camera, Sarah said, Now it's your turn. Pretend you're at a cafe. Say out loud, Can I have a cappuccino, please? She paused, giving viewers time to repeat. Great, now try this. Can I have a latte with vanilla, please? Sarah said, pausing again. See how easy that is, she continued. The more you practice, the more natural it will feel. Remember, it's okay to make mistakes. Every time you try, you're improving. Tom raised his cup. Cheers to learning English. Cheers! Sarah laughed, raising her cup as well. Let's enjoy our drinks and talk about our day. Sarah and Tom sipped their drinks as they relaxed at their table by the window. The cafe's soft chatter and the hum of the coffee machine created a cozy backdrop for their conversation. So, Tom, Sarah began, what are your plans for today? Tom thought for a moment before answering. I'm going to the park later. I want to go for a walk and maybe read a book. That sounds nice, Sarah replied. What book are you reading? It's called The Alchemist, Tom said. It's a bit challenging in English, but I'm trying to understand it, Sarah smiled. That's a great way to learn. Reading books in English helps with vocabulary. Do you use a dictionary when you don't know a word? Tom nodded. Yes, I keep my phone with me to look up words. What about you? What are your plans for today? I'm meeting a friend at the library, Sarah said. We're going to work on a project together. After that, I might come back here to study. Tom raised an eyebrow. Study what? English, of course, Sarah laughed. I'm learning new words and practicing sentences. What about you? Do you practice speaking English every day? Tom shrugged. Not every day, but I try to talk to my roommate. He is from Canada, so he helps me a lot. That's great, Sarah said enthusiastically. The more you practice speaking, the easier it gets. What do you usually talk about with your roommate? Simple things, Tom replied. Like, how was your day? Or what do you want for dinner? Sarah nodded. Those are good phrases to know. Let's practice them. I'll ask you a question and you answer. Ready? Tom smiled. Okay, I'm ready. Sarah leaned forward. How was your day so far? Tom thought for a moment. It's been good. I had breakfast at home and now I'm here with you. Nice answer, Sarah said. Now you ask me. Tom cleared his throat. How was your day so far? Sarah grinned. It's been great. I woke up early, went for a walk, and now I'm enjoying coffee with a friend. Tom laughed. You make it sound so easy. It is easy when you practice, Sarah encouraged. Let's try another. Ask me, what are your plans for tomorrow? Tom repeated the question carefully. What are your plans for tomorrow? I'm going to visit my family, Sarah said. What about you? I don't know yet, Tom admitted, chuckling. Maybe I'll come here again. Sarah turned to the camera with a bright smile. Did you notice how we're using simple sentences? These are great for small talk in English. You can ask someone, how was your day? Or what are your plans for tomorrow? Let's practice together. She paused, giving viewers a moment to repeat the phrases. Try saying, how was your day? She said, waiting a moment. Great. Now say, what are your plans for tomorrow? Sarah looked back at Tom. Small talk like this is a good way to connect with people. And the more you use it, the more natural it feels. Tom raised his cup again. To small talk and learning English, Sarah laughed. Cheers to that. As Sarah and Tom finished their coffee, Sarah leaned back in her chair and smiled. Let's go over what we've learned so far, she said, looking at Tom and then at the camera. First, Sarah began, we talked about the cafe environment. We learned words like table, chair, and menu. These are important when you visit a place like this. She held up her empty cup. And then we practiced ordering. Do you remember the phrase we used? Tom nodded. Yes, we said. Can I have? Exactly, Sarah replied. You can say, can I have a cappuccino, please? Or can I have a latte with vanilla, please? Turning to the camera, Sarah added, let's practice that together. I'll say a phrase, and you repeat after. She spoke slowly and clearly. Can I have a cappuccino, please? After a brief pause, she continued. Can I have a latte with caramel, please? Great job, she said encouragingly. Next, we practiced small talk. Do you remember the questions we used? Tom thought for a moment. We asked, how was your day? And what are your plans for tomorrow? Perfect, Sarah said with a smile. These questions are great for starting conversations. In English, she turned her attention back to the viewers. Now it's your turn. Imagine you're talking to a friend. Ask them, how was your day? Sarah paused, giving them time to repeat. Good, she said. Now try this. What are your plans for tomorrow? Sarah looked at Tom with a playful grin. Okay, Tom, let's pretend you're my English teacher. You ask me a question and I'll answer. Tom sat up straighter and said, what are your plans for the weekend? Sarah laughed. I'm going to relax and watch a movie. How about you? I think I'll go hiking, Tom replied. See? Sarah said to the camera. These simple conversations are fun and easy to practice. You can do this with a friend, a family member, or even by yourself in front of a mirror. She picked up a notebook from her bag and held it up. One tip I always share is to write down new phrases you learn. For example, write, can I have? And then add examples like a cappuccino or a latte. This helps you remember them better. Tom nodded in agreement. I do that too. It really helps. Sarah smiled. The key is to practice every day, even if it's just a little. Remember, mistakes are part of learning. Don't be afraid to try. Sarah glanced at the time and smiled warmly. Wow, we've learned so much today. Let's take a moment to celebrate all the progress you've made. She turned to Tom. You practiced ordering coffee, using small talk, and even asking great questions. How do you feel now? Tom beamed. I feel more confident. It's not as scary as I thought it would be. That's the spirit, Sarah said enthusiastically. Learning English is like building a bridge. Each word, phrase, and conversation is a step closer to your goal. Looking at the camera, she addressed the viewers directly. Remember, it's okay to take things one step at a time. Start with simple phrases like, can I have, and build from there. Don't worry if you make mistakes. They're part of the process. She leaned forward, her tone sincere. You've already taken a big step by practicing with us today. Be proud of yourself. Tom raised his cup one last time. To learning and growing. Sarah clinked her empty cup against his. To learning and growing, she echoed with a laugh. As they prepared to leave, Sarah turned to the camera for a final message. Before we go, I want to challenge you. Practice what you learned today. Order coffee in English, ask a friend how their day was, or even write your own cafe story. You've got this, she smiled brightly. If you enjoyed today's lesson, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this video with someone who's also learning English. And join us next time for another fun story. Tom waved goodbye. See you next time. Bye for now, Sarah added as they walked out of Cafe Corner, leaving the viewers inspired to keep learning.